Hey everyone, this week I want to talk about energy. There is a absolute and incredible, astonishing, phenomenal revolution that is going on in energy that mirrors what is going on in finance through crypto and fintech, in healthcare, through precision medicine and big data and artificial intelligence. And there's many different parts to it. And I've never actually gone through it in this way. So just bear with me because it's a little bit sort of has like a few different parts and it's a bit compartmentalized, which is why I actually like to write this down, or it's like it's got so many different steps. So bear with me a little bit. And at the end of this, I'll also say that if you want to participate in this energy revolution, well, you should consider subscribing to one of our services. Obviously, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter, also follow me on Facebook. These are places where you can get follow-up stock ideas around these things. And in fact, this month, we're going to be adding a battery stock that fits into this sort of profile format of where the world is and continuing to go at an accelerating pace in energy, where it is going to wipe out the old world of fossil fuels and carbon-based fuels and replace it with an entirely new set of technologies, energy forms, and new ways to use it. All right, so the first thing is one that most people at this point are familiar with. And if you're in our services, you know we're all in on things like solar power, wind power, and just generally sustainable energy, which loose form definition means something that is renewable. In other words, the sun shows up every day. And if you've got solar panels like I do on my house, I actually am sort of like 85, 90% self-powered. On a day-to-day basis, as long as the sun is shining, I actually generate pretty much all of the power I need for my particular house. So that one I don't want to go that much into because everybody knows that. And if you were in our True Momentum services, you know that we made some big money in Enphase and Solar Edge and Sunrun in our various services. All right, so, and those are kind of direct plays, sort of picks and shovels plays, if you will, on this new energy sector. The second one is one that we're really getting all in across our services, which is storage through batteries. Because one of the issues with sustainable renewable energy is that it's not continuous, it's discontinuous. The sun obviously doesn't shine all the time, the wind doesn't blow all the time. And so during periods when it is generating energy, you want to have some kind of technology and capability that can store it for when you do need it. And I myself actually have 2 Tesla Powerwalls, and I've proudly shown people these Powerwalls because I really think that these represent amazing technology, which is that they take the power from my solar panels and they put it into the Powerwall. So I'm going to show you this again. So this is my Powerwall actually in action right now, this minute. And you'll see that I'm at 63%. My Powerwall is 63% full. And my solar panels are right now powering me, giving me 1.9 kilowatts of energy. And my house is using about 0.6 kilowatts at the moment. And it's powering up my house and powering up my Powerwall simultaneously. So you'll see those green things moving, and the 2 Powerwalls, and then to my house. In other words, I'm not using any power from the grid at this moment. So this is a massive revolution in terms of the use of renewable and sustainable energy. And even within the sort of storage area, there's like multiple innovations that are going on within there so as to really create even more value. For example, just within the battery space, there are now 3 very credible, real technologies that are scaling up to provide solutions. One is lithium ion, and that's the one that's most established, that's in most batteries. The second one, which is emerging, in other words, it's still sort of somewhere in that in-between phase between past the research phase and on its way to getting to commercial scale, is solid state batteries. And iron flow batteries are one that very few people have heard about. However, this is a very cheap form of energy, and it is another technology form that is also on its way to being something that is into commercial scale. So even within the storage and battery area, you've got multiple different kinds of technologies and innovation that are shooting upward to go and replace the existing energy system. So that's the second category, sort of innovation and ideas that's going on in this area. The third one gets actually almost very, very little attention, and we have participation in this in our Profits Unlimited portfolio, which is the use of data, software, algorithms, artificial intelligence to integrate all of these different things. Because one of the issues that you're now having is that I am now a power generator. In fact, I generate more power than I need, and I am generating more power than I need right now. And that actually goes to my utility. So as you and others start to put solar panels on and then integrate it with something like a power wall, you become a power generator. And now it becomes important to be able to optimize, integrate not just the power generation, but also your storage device, so as to be able to determine what the capacity of this new system is. Before, all you had to do is worry about what the big utilities were able to generate and what they could sort of push into the grid and how far they could push it out there. It's called wheeling in the utility business. Now you've got everybody that can generate a virtual power plant of their own, and where you could sell your power to somebody that needs it. And so you need software, and you need data, and you need artificial intelligence to be able to coordinate all this, integrate it, and optimize it so that the energy doesn't go to waste. So there are an entire group of companies that are now in the stock markets. Some of them are in private markets that are looking to solve this problem, or solving this problem, or expanding and growing to solve this problem, because this is something that is happening, not going to happen. It's happening. As I just showed you, I am right now actually sending power to my utility at this moment. So that's the sort of third category of sort of innovation and ideas that's happening in this revolution in energy. Then there are sort of older forms of energy that were sort of waiting for additional amounts of sort of scientific proof for them to happen before they could start to scale up. And two in particular really are starting to make a big impression. And we are, of course, in these things, which is the one other alternative to lithium ion and batteries in general is hydrogen. And increasingly, you're starting to see a hydrogen economy start to develop, particularly sort of for things that are energy dense requirements. Planes potentially that need a lot of energy to go a long distance might go through hydrogen. Long distance trucking, where you need to carry a large load, where it would be impractical to charge all the time, might be another place where hydrogen is more successful. And also for short bursts, for example, in a warehouse, to have forklifts and other kinds of things, hydrogen may be a solution. And so in Profits Unlimited, for example, we have what I believe is the leading hydrogen power company in the world with the best technology. But they've been around a while, and they've been optimizing their technology for a while, and they are now well placed to really dominate it. So if you're interested in that, subscribe to Profits Unlimited and you can see which one it is. The fourth one doesn't get, the second one doesn't get a lot of attention, and that is nuclear power. Many of you will have noticed that in our sort of premium services, particularly in Extreme Fortunes, Extreme Fortune is a small cap service. True Momentum, which is our mid cap service, approximately slightly larger companies in both. However, approximately that's sort of like the size of companies that they target. And others, we've got nuclear participation. And why? The reason is the emergence of these very small, they're called smart modular reactors. In other words, they took the nuclear reactor and they shrunk it to the size of your living room. They shrunk it so that you can really reduce the amount of risk, still get a significant amount of power. And the biggest issue with nuclear power has always been the scale of it meant that if something went wrong, it was a sort of a global disaster. And so if you could make them smaller, you kind of could make them safer. And of course, they were made more safe as a result of now 20, 30 years of development, but they were also able to shrink the technology and make it safer, where to the point that a lot of the issues around disposing of the fuel and all these things are gone. And so I believe it's actually generating a new bull market for nuclear power. And this is a source that is clean in terms of carbon dioxide emissions, which is an issue, or greenhouse gases, which is also another major issue. So this is another part of the sort of energy revolution that is going on. The last one I'll touch on, which is an alternative form of generating power, is wave power. And in our microcap service, 100X Club, we have a stock that looks to benefit from the development and emergence of wave power. I mean, if you look at our oceans, we've got these massive oceans everywhere, and those waves, I mean, you know, anyone that's been out either surfing, I'm not a surfer, I'll just fully admit it, but I have done a lot of scuba diving, and I can say that I have definitely witnessed some serious waves, and that wave power represents serious amounts of energy that we are just learning how to tap. And then back leads to what I was talking about, which is that how do you get that energy back to us where you can use it? And then that sort of connects the dots. Then you need sort of interconnections, and you need software, and you need data, and you need optimization, artificial intelligence, which comes back to the last thing, which is that we do have an existing grid. In other words, when you look outside your window in most places, you will see we've got this 100-year-old infrastructure of wires that have been strung. And they are truly an extension, really, of what Edison first did. In other words, they strung our power from the most crude power plants that they had, and we just extended that, refined it a little bit. And that's what's really out there, outside my window right now. And so the grid has a place because it interconnects everybody until perhaps we can get wireless power to the point where it can be something that is widely available, widely used, which is a innovation that is out there. However, it's there in very small scale forms as to charge devices. And it's really a little bit too early to have sort of industrial strength wireless power. Nonetheless, the grid is something that is valuable both as a network for interconnecting power and as a source of information for how much capacity is there, how much latent capacity is there, what is the usage levels, where is power most needed, where is power available the most. And so this as a asset has a lot of value, and there will probably be a lot of contention in terms of how it's going to be used, who has access to it, and what is a fair use of it, sort of reminding me a little bit of when the internet first came and where the telephone companies had access to most of the telecommunication lines, and they of course tried to make it hard for their competitors. And there will be a little bit of a fight around that. Nonetheless, the grid and the network is valuable and it's worth something because it is what is going to interconnect all of these energy sources, these batteries, and also generate the data and information that is needed really to optimize, integrate, and coordinate the system. So that's my sort of summary of what is going on with energy. There is an absolute revolution that's going on across types of energy, then the storage of it, then its optimization. and then old technologies that are now mature and ready for big time commercialization. And if you're interested in that, like I said, you can check into across our services. Our introductory one is called Profits Unlimited. There's a strong hands on this side that will send you to a page that asks you to subscribe. So check back in next week and I'll have another video. Until then, this is Paul saying bye.